Imagine waking up to find that 81% of your business's foot traffic just completely vanished overnight.
Right. Just gone.
Yeah, just gone. And not because your store closed or, your product got worse, but because this invisible assistant decided to just start running errands for all your customers, completely bypassing your storefront.
It's a terrifying thought.
It really is. So welcome to the deep dive. We are looking at a fundamental structural collapse of how information is discovered online. Like the traditional click is dying. And if your company is still relying on traditional keyword tracking tools right now, you are completely blind to how people are actually finding you.
Yeah, it is a brutal awakening for anyone who relies on web traffic. I mean, we have fully crossed the threshold into the era of AI citation.
We really have.
And to understand the mechanics of how this happened, and more importantly, how you actually survive it, we are breaking down a highly specific SEO briefing today. We're analyzing this defining 7-day period. It goes from Saturday, August 8th through Friday, August 14th, 2026.
It's a crazy week.
It's insane. This isn't just like a list of updates. It is a blueprint of the new multi-engine internet. So we are going to look under the hood at the new protocols, explain exactly why your metrics are tanking, and, map out the new architecture of visibility for you.
Okay, let's unpack this and jump right into the data that kicked this whole thing off.
Yeah.
So by Saturday, August 8, Google's AI overviews had officially hijacked 50% of all search queries.
Half the board.
Yeah, half the board, just gone.
Yeah.
And the immediate fallout was violent, right? Some verticals were seeing like up to 58% fewer clicks. But looking at the sources for Saturday, August 8, there's this glaring paradox.
Oh, absolutely.
Right, like we saw an explosion of brand new generative engine optimization or GEO tools.
Yeah.
Platforms like Pulse, Profound, and Otterly.ai all claiming to track this new AI visibility.
Yeah, everyone was launching something.
Exactly. Yet on that exact same day, Google published its first official generative AI optimization guide. And their advice was basically, do nothing new, just stick to traditional SEO.
Right.
So I have to ask, we know Google protects its own interests, but how can both realities be true? It's like we spent 20 years learning how to build the biggest, flashiest billboard on the highway, and now Google just wants to read the secret brochure in the glove box. Are we supposed to overhaul our strategy or not?
Well, what's fascinating here is you absolutely have to overhaul your strategy, but you have to understand the semantic game Google is actively playing.
Okay, meaning what?
Well, when Google says stick to traditional SEO, they are talking specifically about their foundational EEAT signals, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Right, the classic cross-packer.
Exactly, because the machine learning models generating these summaries, they still need a baseline metric to decide if you are a legitimate entity, right? They need to know your brand isn't some scam.
Okay, so the foundation of trust is the same.
Yeah, the foundation hasn't changed, but the measurement and the extraction of that trust, that has changed entirely.
Wait, if I have high authority, shouldn't I just show up in the AI summary automatically?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, think about it. A traditional rank tracker, it pings a database to see if your URL is the first blue link on a page. That's like a 1990s metric.
Fair point.
What these new GEO tools do is fundamentally different. They measure whether a large language model is actively including your brand's specific entity data inside a synthesized paragraph.
Oh, so it's context, not just a link.
Right. It's the difference between checking if your book is just sitting in the library versus checking if the librarian is actually recommending your book to someone who asks a complex question. You need these new tools because you can no longer track a linear click. You have to track a multidimensional citation.
Wow, which totally explains the panic for major publishers. Because, if the AI is doing the reading for the user, the publisher gets zero ad revenue.
Zero. Nothing.
And the speed of this shift is just wild. Because if Saturday was about dealing with AI overviews taking over half the page, Sunday, August 9 brought news of the search page vanishing entirely.
Yeah, the AI mode rollout.
Right. Google began expanding its AI mode. And this isn't just an answer box at the top of 10 blue links. This is a complete replacement of the search engine results page with a uniquely generated conversational interface.
It's a totally different beast.
Totally. And the Moz expert panel data from our sources predicts this will be the dominant interface by late 2026.
Wait, if the search page is just a personalized chatbot now, what are we even optimizing for? Are we optimizing for a human reader or a machine buyer?
Well, it shifts the entire paradigm from a static directory to an active dialogue. And that requires an entirely new discipline, which that Moz panel coined relevance engineering.
Relevance engineering. Okay, I want to stop on that term.
Yeah.
Because the sources say this is about mapping a query fan out. But what does that actually mean under the hood? It kind of just sounds like marketing jargon for writing longer articles.
No, I get that, but it's actually a deeply technical mechanism. So think about how a traditional search works. You type best CRM. The engine matches that string of text to an index and returns a list.
Right, simple matching. Exactly. But a query fanout is what happens when a user types a massive prompt into an AI. Something like, find me a CRM under $500 that integrates with these 3 healthcare platforms and compare their uptime.
A super specific use case.
Right. The AI acts as a project manager there. It takes that prompt and fans it out. It breaks it into 5 or 6 parallel vector database searches. It runs those simultaneously in the background, pulls the disparate data, and synthesizes a completely custom answer.
So relevance engineering is basically about structuring your site's data perfectly.
Yeah.
So when the AI project manager goes looking for that one specific detail about, like, healthcare integrations, your site hands it over instantly.
You've got it, which introduces the most critical invisible shift that happened on Sunday, August 9, and that is back-end SEO.
Back-end SEO.
Okay.
So sources highlighted the Agentic Commerce Protocol, or ACP, and the Model Context Protocol, MCP.
Yes, those are huge.
But how do those protocols actually change the way a website functions?
Well, historically, your website was built to render HTML for a human browser, right? It's designed to look pretty, so a human clicks add to cart.
Right. Big shiny buttons.
Exactly. But AI agents don't have eyes. They cannot navigate a clunky visual interface. So ACP and MCP are standardized protocols that allow your databases to expose structured JSON data directly to an AI agent.
Oh, wow. So they just bypass the front end entirely.
Totally. This means if the AI decides your software is the best fit for the user, it uses these protocols to authenticate and execute the API call to purchase the software on the user's behalf.
Without the user ever visiting the site.
Exactly. If your inventory is hidden behind a human-only interface, you are completely invisible to the machines doing the buying.
That is a terrifying reality check for you listening.
Yeah.
If the machine can't interface with your backend, your business essentially doesn't exist in the new economy.
It really doesn't.
And this machine-to-machine commerce fundamentally changes what content even matters, which became the central focus when the markets opened on Monday. So looking at Monday, August 10th, the data shows that 61% of B2B software buyers now use AI search engines alongside Google.
It's a huge fragmenting of the audience.
Yeah, we are living in a multi-engine reality now. And the briefing lists the distinct citation preferences of these engines, like Perplexity heavily weights recent authoritative sources. ChatGPT prioritizes conversational depth and EET signals. Claude looks for nuanced reasoning and logical flow.
Yeah, they all have completely different personalities.
It's like pitching a business idea to completely different venture capitalists. One wants hard data, one wants a great story, and the other wants your PhD credentials.
That's a perfect analogy, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, you are no longer pleasing a single Google algorithm. You're dealing with disparate AI systems, each with a different mathematical threshold for what it considers valuable.
But how do you practically build for that? I mean, you can't write 3 different versions of your website to Keys, Perplexity, Claude, and ChatGPT.
No, you definitely don't write 3 versions. You focus on the one overarching mandate that really surfaced on Monday, August 10th. Absolute originality.
Originality. Okay.
Yeah, because the underlying architecture of a large language model is designed to recognize patterns. So if your blog post is just, a repackaged summary of 5 other articles that already exist in its training data, the model's weights won't prioritize it.
Because it's redundant.
Exactly. It brings 0 net new information to the vector space. To force an AI to cite you across any of these platforms, you must inject original data, proprietary research, or unique firsthand experiences that the model have literally never encountered before.
Okay, and the sources also mentioned the llms.txt standard gaining a lot of traction here. What's that about?
Think of llms.txt as the modern evolution of the old robots.txt file. But instead of just telling a crawler what pages to ignore, it provides a full semantic map.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it sits at the root of your domain and explicitly guides AI models on how to parse your site's architecture. It basically hands them your original data in the cleanest possible format.
Okay, but tracking all of this, managing JSON-only architecture, monitoring multi-engine citations, structuring data for AI extraction, that is way beyond the capability of a traditional marketing team.
Oh, 100%.
Which totally explains the absolute avalanche of tool updates that flooded the market over the next 48 hours. Looking at Tuesday, August 11th, the SEO tooling industry practically rebuilt itself.
It was wild to watch.
Yeah, Semrush One added deep AI overview analytics. Ahrefs launched Brand Radar to explicitly connect AI mentions with backlink data. Surfer SEO added a specific GEO score for AI extractability. But I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
Are these companies just slapping AI on the box to charge us more money, or is this actually a new science?
Well, the skepticism is totally warranted. We see that all the time. But the underlying science here is a legitimate, necessary pivot. I mean, over a third of consumers now start their journey with an AI. You just cannot navigate that manually anymore. What happened on Tuesday, August 11, was the rapid productization of entity SEO.
Break that down. We hear entity SEO thrown around a lot. What is the actual technical shift?
It is the shift from unstructured text to highly structured data architectures. In the past, if you wrote the word apple, the search engine had to use context clues to figure out if you meant the fruit or the tech company.
Right.
Entity SEO uses deep schema markup, specifically JSON LD, to explicitly define the relationships between concepts on your site. You are literally programming a knowledge graph.
You're spelling it out for the machine.
Exactly. You are telling the machine this specific executive works for this specific brand, which manufactures this specific product line. The new tools you mentioned are essential because they audit whether your JSON LD architecture is perfectly aligned for an LLM to actually ingest it.
And Screaming Frog's update on Tuesday, August 11 seems to validate that perfectly, right? They didn't just add an AI chatbot. They integrated AI to prioritize site crawl issues based on estimated traffic impact.
That was a huge update.
Yeah, it's taking a mountain of technical server errors and having the machine say, ignore those 50 broken images for now, but fix this specific broken API endpoint immediately.
Right.
Because it is actively blocking Claude from accessing your pricing data. That is super practical.
It completely moves technical SEO from preventative maintenance to active revenue protection.
Which brings us to the bloodbath.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Because while Tuesday was all about shiny new tools, Wednesday, August 12 delivered a massive reality check. The focus of the briefing shifted entirely to the HubSpot Answer Engine Optimization, or AEO, greater data. And the numbers are just jaw-dropping.
They're hard to even look at.
HubSpot saw an 81% drop in traffic. They went from 13.5 million monthly blog visits down to under 2 million. That is terrifying for anyone listening who relies on search traffic. I mean, this is HubSpot. They practically invented modern inbound marketing, and they lost over 11 million visits a month.
It is the ultimate cautionary tale of the zero-click era, and it perfectly illustrates the danger of relying on legacy metrics right now.
Well, Semrush One published a benchmark alongside that HubSpot data, and it showed that 65 to 85% of ChatGPT prompts have absolutely no keyword match in standard databases.
Yeah.
But how does that practically happen? Like, how are people searching so differently that it literally breaks the databases?
Because humans don't talk in keywords unless they are forced to, right?
That makes sense.
When we were forced to use a tiny search bar, we adapted to caveman speed. We typed marketing CRM cheap. But when you open a conversational window with an LLM, you revert to natural language. You write a highly specific multi-variable paragraph detailing your exact business constraints.
Right. You just talk to it like a person.
Exactly. And there is no traditional keyword volume for a 40-word hyper-specific scenario.
So HubSpot was sitting there looking at their keyword rankings for marketing CRM, seeing themselves at position 1, and thinking everything was fine. Meanwhile, millions of users had migrated to conversational prompts, completely bypassing those short-tail keywords.
Exactly. Which is why the platforms that gained traction on Wednesday, August 12, like Peec AI and Otterly.ai, are so vital. They don't measure rank. They use their own LLMs to simulate thousands of those complex user prompts and measure how the major AI models describe your brand in response.
Oh, so it's about the context of the mention.
Right. They map the sentiment. They tell you if the AI considers you a budget option, a premium option, or if you simply don't exist in the model's latent space at all.
Well, watching your traffic vanish by 81% naturally makes site owners demand more control. And that reaction totally dominated the next day's developments. So on Thursday, August 13th, AI overviews hit 25 to 48% of queries, especially in health, tech, and science.
Huge numbers.
Huge. Crucially, Google rolled out Gen AI controls globally in Search Console, so they gave site owners a toggle switch. Concurrently, Cloudflare announced new AI bot traffic defaults effective September 15, 2026. They are going to block AI training and agent bots on ad-supported pages by default.
Yeah, this is the definitive battle over data sovereignty. The platforms need the publisher's original data to train their models, but the publishers are being starved of the traffic they need to survive.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
You have this massive conflict for anyone running a website. Cloudflare is giving you a shield to block the scrapers, right? But on that exact same Thursday, August 13th, Google's John Mueller publicly confirmed that Google completely ignores the llms.txt protocol.
Yep, they don't care?
They just don't care about your instructions.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you, if you use Cloudflare to block the bots, to protect your intellectual property, do you just disappear from the AI answers entirely?
Yes. You completely erase yourself from the new discovery ecosystem. It is essentially a digital hostage situation.
Wow.
But the uncomfortable strategic reality for anyone listening is that opting into AI features via Google's Search Console is almost always the necessary move right now.
Even if it means letting them ingest your proprietary data without paying you.
Well, yeah, because the alternative is zero visibility. The data proves that being cited as a source in an AI response generates a significantly higher click-through rate than simply existing as a standard blue link below the fold.
Because the AI summary takes up the whole screen anyway.
Exactly. If you block the AI crawler, the model doesn't just give up. It simply cites your competitor who left their data open. Your competitor gets the citation, they get the embedded link, and they get the residual traffic. The system leverages the fear of obsolescence to force participation.
It's a brutal game. And that perfectly sets the stage for Friday's sobering data on exactly how user behavior has permanently changed. Wrapping up the timeline on Friday, August 14th, the final stats are staggering. AI overviews now appear in 89% of brand search results.
89%.
Yeah, and nearly 60% of all Google searches now end without a click. We also saw the launch of GSE platform reports showing search data for TikTok, X, Instagram, and YouTube.
Because discovery has completely fragmented.
Right. So what does this all mean for you listening? Almost 60% zero click. It sounds like the traditional click is dead, and the citation is the only thing that matters anymore.
That is exactly the core synthesis of everything that happened between August 8 and August 14. EEAT has morphed into a hard trust filter for AI.
Meaning what, practically?
Because large language models are prone to hallucination, the companies building them are terrified of serving bad data. So to mitigate that risk, their algorithms aggressively retreat to safety. They heavily favor established, verified entities.
They need a scapegoat if the information is wrong, so they only cite domains with a massive authority.
Precisely. Which means SEO and PR are now structurally connected disciplines. To survive zero-click, you cannot just tweak header tags on your own domain. You have to invest in brand building, publisher PR, and robust social signals.
You have to be a real entity.
Right. And when you do publish content on your own site, it must be structured perfectly for AI extraction using clear headers, tables, and concise definitions.
Handing the machine exactly what it wants on a silver platter.
Exactly. Formatting for the scraper first and the human second.
To wrap up this deep dive, the focus of SEO entirely flipped from traditional ranking to multi-engine AI visibility and relevance engineering over the course of these specific dates. And remember, audit your Cloudflare settings before the September 15th, 2026 deadline. You do not want to accidentally block the bots you need.
Definitely check those settings. And as we close, I want to leave you with one final lingering question to ponder. If all content moving forward must be perfectly structured, cited, and engineered purely for an AI to extract and summarize, what happens to the art of writing for human enjoyment? Will the internet become a database just for machines, or will human-first content become the ultimate premium commodity?
That is a fascinating thought. Beautiful writing versus database extraction. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep experimenting, stay curious, and we'll catch you next time.